think that it's just so awful you don't know what to do anymore. Today was one of those days. Being a stepmom is kind of one of the most thankless jobs I've ever had. You're either kind of doomed and gloomed, or you're on a stepchild's highest priority, depending what it is. I've gotten my feelings hurt several times today, but I cannot say that I haven't tried most things on my parents. So really what they do to me is not really that surprising, but more of hurtful, and then my mouth starts saying some things that it shouldn't. So it's been one of those days. I just don't know. I'm at my wit's end. I'm still sick. Can't seem to get over whatever this crud is that's bothering me, my lungs, and going throughout the whole family. Everyone's tired of being sick and tired and just plain tired from being sick. It starts off as a lung thing, bronchial. They never say it's bronchitis for me anymore. They just call it a COPD exasperation, when sometimes it is bronchitis. Well, first of all, my bronchial tubes don't work properly, and then that causes my oxygen level to go south. And then I end up in the ER because it registers 88, and they didn't give me a script last time for it when I was in the emergency room. I went to the emergency room like 3 weeks ago because, well, one, I was dehydrated just out of my mind. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see you. Carrie? Hi, Yawn. Yawn? Is that how you say that? So, there's some kind of lung infection going around the house right now. And also pink eye going through the house right now. Hi, everyone. Nice to see everybody today. Yeah, thank you. You're a sub. Thank you for subscribing. Hi, Harper. I'm trying to raise my subscribers up to 500, and then by 500 do some sort of giveaway with a gift card and other stuff that I can do a drawing for. Yeah, it's sure and steady a goal. I'm up to 193 subscribers today. So I'm just kind of down and out, and decided I would do a video maybe to cheer myself up out of these doldrums I've created for myself today. If you don't know, I have bipolar disorder and depression and anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, all with my other physical ailments that I have. 193 subscribers, yes. Not just 93, 193. Where did I get my glasses? Well, I have 3 I wear. These particular pair I got from CBHA Medical in Mattawa, Washington. Yeah, I like the color, and they're Adidas, and they're very sturdy, and I picked them because I have 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 8-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 15-year-old. So our house gets rambunctious. So I wanted a sturdy pair of glasses that wouldn't break so easy. Well, these are my second frames on these pair of glasses because of the fact that I dropped them off a tall dresser and they broke. And didn't have to worry about the kids breaking them because I broke them myself. Which is kind of funny. So anyway, we have all this long stuff going on. And then Bio Mom brings me my 5-year-old stepdaughter to me and says, would you look at her eyes? And I did. And I said, yep, for sure she has pink eye. So she got an appointment. She got diagnosed with pink eye and eye drops, and she has everything that everybody else is. So they gave her some Tylenol, children's Tylenol, which we already had at the house, but that's okay. And then 2 of my other kids, they gave 1 Tylenol, 1 Robitussin DM, and then Robitussin again. So I think I have to give meds around the clock for the next few days. But the fact that I have to read the bottle and see if it's as needed. So their next dose is at 7:30, and there might be their last dose for tonight if it says as needed. So I'm hoping that's the case. If that's not the case, the bio mom will step in tomorrow night and Thursday night because I may have to do jury duty, but I'm not for certain yet. I will have to call tomorrow afternoon for Wednesday and Thursday to see if I have to drive an hour away. Yippee! To a city that I don't know very well and a courthouse I have never been to. So that should be yippee skippy fun. I think. Maybe not. But if I do get selected, I will do my jury duty and shall be interesting to see how our greater court system works in Grant County courthouse. Apparently, we have 2 Grant County courthouses. One is in Ephrata, an hour north, and the other one is in Moses Lake, which is, I think, south of us. Not quite sure. I'll have to look it up on GPS to see how far it will be to drive so I can leave in enough time and get the GPS set up. Hi, Riley and Hazel? How are you? So that's been my story of today. Just people butting in where they don't need to butt in. Yet I do kind of do that to myself. I'm glad you're good. I'm better now. I wasn't so hot an hour ago. I've settled down now and ended up putting not a lot of decorations on the tree, but I'm just basically homesick and want to be home in Michigan where my parents are for the holidays, and I can't. So I have to make do and do with what I have. So hi, Yon Hung. Are you Japanese? So my mom is going to be sending us some Christmas envelopes in the mail, and then I also have jury duty the day after Christmas. So that day I have to call on the 23rd to see if I have to be there on the 26th, because that's the last official working day before Christmas. Kid's mom lives here with us, bio mom. I'm stepmom. Anyhow, she got the Ephrata courthouse and got, I think one day, maybe two, one, two. I, on the other hand, live in the sand house. Well, get this. I'm getting sent to another courthouse for 3 days. Does that make a whole lot of sense to you people? Surely it does not to me. Too. I don't know. I do know, however, I have to go and get a charger for my phone so it doesn't die while I'm on the video. My phone has been slow at charging. Hi, Apple. Let me look at these boxes and stuff of yours, because if they say as needed, then I don't have to get you as needed. As needed. As needed.
What does as needed mean?
It means you only need it as you need it. How's your guys' cough? Better?
Better. Yeah.
Better? Okay, so I'm not going to give you guys any meds again until morning.
I say look.
Laura, I'm not giving any more meds till morning.
Okay.
Because they don't seem to be coughing and or have aches and pains. So when they wake up, I'll give them again. And I will give Lucille her eye drop in the morning also.
Okay.
How did I get a call? So you guys, I don't have to wake you up at all tonight. And if you guys are feeling bad tomorrow, then I will give you more meds, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Look at remove the dust in her eye.
Yeah, if there is any.
Well, you think it won't get it closed, because my concern is that she wakes up and it's completely closed and she panics and screams because she can't.
Well, if she gets skunked up, she can always come knock on the bedroom door, okay, Lucille?
Yes. Just feel your way.
Now don't use this towel.
Okay.
Don't use that towel, and I'm going to give you your last set of eye drops now. And actually, if you notice that she has gunk in the eye, you can have her open the other one. Okay, good enough. Actually, if you notice she has gunk in her eye, just send her upstairs to me.
Yes.
Somebody needs to clean up all that water off the floor.
Okay.
If they would, please, whoever did it. Okay? Thank you. Yeah, I took care of it. Don't bother Dad, he's sleeping. Okay, so now I clearly do not have to get up in the middle of the night twice, because it's just children's Tylenol, children's cough medicine. If they don't have a cough, I'm not going to give them any cough medicine. I won't give them any cough medicine or anything unless they start coughing in the middle of the night, and then I will give it to them. But they've had 3 doses so far, and I don't want them to get over medicated on anything, because after a while then they say, ew, this medicine tastes good because it's flavored, and we don't want that happening. Thank you to all who have liked, and if anyone has subscribed and shared my channel, please share. It gets the word out. We're a sports channel and an everyday life channel, and we cover all subjects of life here. So, I don't know if anyone. Oh, you did? Thank you, Jan. I do appreciate it. Where are you from, Jan? If I'm still saying that right. I am in Nowhereville, Washington. Washington State, that is, not Washington, D.C. I literally live in the middle of nowhere. Nothing surrounding me but my husband's boss next door. That's it. And an orchard down that way and a farm field that way. And Reactor B, Manhattan Project property is that way. If that helps you with direction, I don't know what is. Please say hello in the chat. I'd be happy to talk with anyone. If you have any questions via a family-oriented nature, I'd be happy to answer to the best of my ability. Sports. When am I going to have sports on? Well, I still haven't looked up my sports facts from today's winter ball game tradings going on right now, winter meetings. So I may have to do my research early morning hours and then get a podcast out later. I was monitoring on NY Yankee Mania's channel just a few minutes ago, and as far as I know, they were getting ready to get off the phone or off the show. They may be still on talking about some things, but I also have to do video for shows for my channel also. I am a 52-year-old mom and housewife, stepmom to be exact. We homeschool all year round. This is Just Wendy's Sports Corner and Purple Sage Hill Ranch and Homeschool Channel. So, oh, streak. Yeah, my Bible app was telling me I needed to do Bibles, so sorry if you hear that. My kids are running in the background. It's getting close to bedtime, but I'm just letting them run around and let their other mother deal with it right now because I'm just trying to chill from my day. If I had a lot of money, what would I do? I would buy a homestead and I would build my own house on it. And I would do something about helping underprivileged kids with tutoring and reading. That's what I would do if I had unlimited funding. But unfortunately, I do not have unlimited funding. I'm working on growing my YouTube channel so I can basically make a little extra money here and there. And also, but that's not my main goal. My main goal is to get the sports channel going and be an advocate for people with mental illness. Best thing I ever did in life. That's a hard question. Best thing I ever did in life. Mm, I know there's been a bunch of things in life I shouldn't have done. Not hard. I graduated from college and I almost flunked out. Then let me back in, and I ended up with a B plus grade average. Psychologist told me I was not for your school um, material, and I proved them wrong. So I graduated from Aquinas College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with a Bachelor of Arts, my major being social science, my minor being women and gender studies. I had a double minor. So I should be able to work with people having a social science degree, but sometimes it's just way hard for me. I don't know what to do. I'm good online here, but in real life, I don't know. How many siblings do I have? One brother. He doesn't talk to me much. He's kind of a loner. So, one brother, that's it. Thrown into a family of 8 here. What was I thinking? I don't know. Some days are great, and like today was not so hot. My whole day started off wrong. My nose is just sorry. Shouldn't do that on camera. Cousins? Too many to count. So, anyhow, yes, I could. My mom is one of 8, and my dad is one of 6. So, too many. I couldn't tell you. I probably have cousins I've never met before. I know I have German relatives in Germany living there, but I don't know their names anymore and who they are. My grandma had record all that, and then when she passed away, I don't know who that record went to, sadly, because we went hunting all over Germany and found German relatives of ours in graveyards and churches and buried in churches and things. And my grandma actually talked to some of our German relatives while we lived there. But I don't have any of that information anymore. Might have to get with my Aunt Beth about that to see. So, probably some people are wondering why I don't have teeth. I don't have my gums, my dentures in. Sorry, my gums are there, but my dentures are not. I currently have either 2 bone spurs or my wisdom tooth is growing in. They left my 4 wisdom teeth, top and bottom, on each side in because there was too much bone to get through to them. So now that my teeth that are gone that were brittle and broken, because I've always had broken teeth and brittle teeth, I don't know what it is. They've broken down and then I've had to have them pulled. Not a very pleasant endeavor. I don't wish it on my worst nightmare or my worst enemy. So, that being said, I have a wisdom tooth growing up in this part of my mouth, or it's bone spurs, because when you get that many teeth pulled, you have like little pieces of bone that all of a sudden start coming up, which I had one pulled a couple months ago from this side. And yeah, my teeth don't fit perfectly well with this now wisdom tooth growing. So I don't always have my teeth in for that reason. My bottom teeth, well, they just don't stay in. So I'm going to end up having, after I get this tooth pulled, probably end up having dentures done again and having them set. by going to a different dentist because I really did not like the dentist I went to have this done. And I can go to the free clinic in town and get them redone for free. Probably have these wisdom tooth pulled for free also, and not have a bill add up that I'm still paying on, trying to pay off. So it's just a bunch of life curveballs, and then my mental illnesses get in the way of life also. And sometimes I bury myself in my room, in my bedroom, and I put up physical walls and mental walls to stay safe, as I don't always feel safe even though I know I'm safe. It's a weird thing. It's just when your feelings are not validated, you don't feel safe. I'm sorry. And my feelings today were not validated by anyone. Um, they just weren't. And some people say feelings don't count. Well, life is about feelings. I'm sorry. It is. Especially if you have mental illnesses. You can be suicidal and decide to take your life away. Well, I would never do that because, one, I'm Christian and that would just be sabotage to myself to God. So I wouldn't do that. And two, I wouldn't want anyone here to find me, especially the kids. So killing yourself is just like the most selfish act anyone could do. There's always help around the corner. I have meds I take on a regular basis. I have a counselor I see. Actually, my psychiatrist is also my counselor. I see on a regular basis. Although I think I have an appointment coming up. I'll have to check on that. You have to be your own self advocate with that. Your family might not always agree with whatever diagnosis you're given, but usually what they give you as a diagnosis is spot on. So, I don't know. Life is tough, and then you have to get back up and put your big girl undies on or your big boy undies on, and you have to keep moving. That's what my channel is about. It keeps me moving, it keeps me talking, it keeps my feelings out of my head. Favorite animal, dog. I have a husky. I love her to pieces. She's a white, pretty girl dog with German Shepherd mix, and she has some German Shepherd markings on her back, but the rest of her body is all pure white. So she is my psychiatric service dog. She knows when I'm gonna flip out before I do, and then she'll come sit right in front of me to get me to calm down. She's like the best in the world. So please like, subscribe, and share to my channel. I would appreciate it. When I get to 500 people, I'm gonna do some sort of giveaway. I'm not exactly sure what it'll be, but I'll do it on a spinner wheel to make it fair. And whoever is on the chat of my 500 subscriber party, I will put your name in the spinner. So I'm probably up to 104 subscribers now with Yon subscribing today. It's okay. My birthday's in August. I'm not going to tell my exact day. Sorry. Oh, it's okay if you have to go. I'm on at various times of the day and in the evening. And it so happens my husband went to bed early from work because he's not feeling good and he's tired. So I have some time on my hands. The kids' bio mom is putting the kids to bed right now, and I'm just sort of hanging out by myself. So it's certainly okay. Who knows if I can keep people on and keep people. You have around like 190 and almost to 200. Well, that's okay. 200 is good. If I can hit 200 tonight, that's only 300 away. That'd be pretty awesome. Thank you for all those who have subscribed to this week. I do have some exciting things in the works. I'm not gonna say who, but I am booking a celebrity for after the new year. I'm not for certain of the date or time yet, but I will certainly give an update after I meet with her tomorrow and book the show with her and all the nitty gritty. I have an appointment with her tomorrow at some point during the day to talk about it on the phone. So it's certainly excitable news that might be able to give enough to bring some more people to my channel, because I know she knows a lot of people and could bring and tell a lot of people about my channel and bring it on. So I'll see the channel tomorrow. I'm sorry if I forget. It's okay. I'm always here at some point. You can always catch up on the replay, or you can always watch whatever videos I post later on. Certainly okay. So it looks like we're almost to 200 people. Maybe if I stay on a little longer, I might get to 200 people today before bedtime. I might stay up a little longer. Can I read something? I could go on and read a book out loud. So now, which would be a doable thing? What could I get? I could get the Christmas Pig. It's a bunch of different stories from J.K. Rowling. It is Christmas time. I kind of had to snatch it back from my girls. They were leaving it in the van. I was afraid it'd get left somewhere. I don't know. I just didn't want it disappearing. So I do know I need to work on my crafts also. Got my craft stuff in here. This is my goody bag of paper crafting. Some of the other crafting stuff in here and some not so crafting stuff. And my old e-reader, was just to see if I can get it to charge and work again. And my the notebook. No, we want to cancel that. My Bacon notebook, which I need to bring out and remind myself to be kind to people. So, yeah. Tomorrow I might do a video on paper crafts. And I got my Lizzie DVD in here. I haven't watched it. Oh, and I got my paper napkins. Quite to get caught up on my people. I have like 5 people I have to do my paper crafts for, because I joined like this little club thing on Facebook for free. So I have all this stuff to make stuff with. And maybe I'll do a video on that, on how to do my 2x2 squares, crafting squares, and my art trading cards that I create. I have to do 5 art trading cards for Christmas and 5 art trading cards for Thanksgiving. And I need to do 5 2x2 squares for Christmas, and I need to do 5 2x2 squares for Thanksgiving. And maybe I can knock that out with a video tomorrow before the kids get up mainly, because when the kids get up, then they want to do everything, and I usually don't have enough for everyone to do. I usually end up sitting on the bed and knocked out, and then I have envelopes to fill out to send them in. I just put a few stickers on, put it in a regular envelope, and ship it off, except for poor Esther. I sent hers off that I had done, and I accidentally forgot to put her zip code on the envelope. And I have one to Beth over here somewhere that I need to put stamp on and send that off. And then it starts all over the following month, so I can get caught back up again, and people start sending me stuff. One lady made me a really nice journal with her stuff that I can put my cards in from her, my 2x2 square cards, and paste it in there in her journal that she sends me, and it was very, very nicely done. So I need to figure out how I can do some sort of journal for my gals that I send my 2x2 art cards and my 2x2 art trading. No, scratch that. 2x2 art cards and my trading cards, which are basically playing cards that I take, and then I decorate the front with felt and paper products, and the same with the back. And then I sign the back with my name, and I ship it off to that person. I'm going to eventually be selling them. I think the art trading cards like $10 a piece, and then maybe do auctions with those on my Just Wendy Sports Corner. As you can see, I'm sitting in a corner, so it can really be whatever I would like it to be. But yeah, tomorrow I will have hopefully an announcement of a pre-planned done show with a special guest, and I can have it on the calendar already made through StreamYard for that for next year. I don't know how far ahead I can make it, but we'll be doing that. I'm also working on being a licensed director through what do you call it? Classical Conversations for homeschool tutors to help kids in our district. It'll wind up being some sort of a paid position. It's usually so much per kid that I enroll for our classical conversation program. I'll end up posting a bunch of stuff for it over the next 2 weeks so that I can get some interested families to help them with tutoring. So it's a pretty genius program. It is a little on the pricey side. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to enroll my kids right away until I make some income from it from 1 year and save it for that. So it's about $150 application fee. There was $120 application fee, $150 enrollment fee. Then there's $395 fee for all the online resources for whatever classes they're in. So it's kind of pricey. We'll see if I can get some interest from it, but I don't know, around here is kind of a low income area where I live. So if we don't get any, we don't get any. It's no skin off my nose. If we do get some and it makes a profit, that's good too. But I'm not let's say I'm not obligated in any way to do the licensing, which is $100, until I know that I have children in line to be enrolled in this program that I'm the director of. And then once they're enrolled, then I'm obligated to be the director of this area. And then I need to find tutors for these kids that enroll in the Classical Conversations program. It helps replace some of the homeschooling that would be done at home for these kids and my kids, and it gets them more in a group setting, and they're still taught by non-school officials. So it's a win-win if I can just snag some homeschool families for the program, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't grow, I'm not at all unhappy about it. I'm not at all unhappy about it. So we'll see if I can get her done. I've already put a couple flyers out on Facebook in some local areas. I might put them in some of the Tri-City area homeschooling, which is an hour away, and maybe the Othella homeschooling Facebook marketplace thingies they have. So I've already did it in just Manawa today, and I will list some more for tomorrow. It helps with kids reading and speaking and science and history and art and whatnot. They have it all there, and all the curriculum is already picked out, already figured out what each kid needs for all that curriculum. And then the tutor goes ahead and tutors the people on it, or the kids on it, and that's how that program works. So hello, welcome to my home and my channel. We are certainly happy to see whoever's in the room. We are having kind of just a nonchalant talk today. I'm worn out. I'm still sick. I'm having an emotional day. My hormones are all out of whack. I keep telling the doctors about that, but we'll see. Maybe next month she might listen to me a little more on that side of the topic. Hello and welcome to my home. We're happy to have you at Just Wendy's Sports Corner, where we talk about sports and everything else. We might be on for an hour or two later, just depending on what is going on. So, my life thoughts, let's see. Why do I like sports? Well, for one thing, anybody likes a good competition. It's all fun until somebody makes it not fun and games. Like, what can I say? Gambling under people's names? Did you know football players and any other players, they will use somebody's name to gamble and win on their winning team? I don't think a lot of people knew that, but they do now because of the fact that the FBI is doing an investigation. This is not any type of news. I'm not sure who they've gone after or anything, but yeah, we'll have to see. What about Cashman and this baseball junk that's going on? Is Cashman ever going to spend some of his money? I don't know. So, what's going on? Just Wendy's Corner Land in her little corner of her little dressing area room. That's kind of a disaster right now. A cat. If you haven't seen the video, you need to go and look at Kit Kat and Snowy and Kit Kat's video from today. It is totally hilarious. That was the best part of my whole day. Somebody had left the top drawer to my significant other's dresser drawer. Kit Kat went and threw everything from his drawer on the floor. All his socks, all his handkerchiefs, all his ties, his whatnots landed on the floor from Kit Kat throwing them out of the drawer. And then Kit Kat went and snuck in between the drawer and the wall of the dresser and then couldn't get out again. So I ended up picking everything up, throwing it back in the dresser drawer, and then opening the next drawer and making way for him to get out. So, do I have any books in here I can read? Let's see what I can find. This book is called Gnome. Forest Gnomes to be exact. By who's it by? It's by I don't even know if I can say this name. Well, Portevelt / Hungen. Sorry if I said your name wrong. I've had this book for some time now. It's got great illustrations. And I have not read it at all. So inside, look at all this great detail. It's got the birdies and the gnomes and the birdies and the gnomes, it says. Down here there's an inscription. It says, to my amazement, I've heard that there are people who never have seen a gnome. I can't help pitying these people. I am certain there must be something wrong with their eyesight. And this was said by Axel Muntz. So this is Gnomes Again. And here we go. Let's see if I can read it. Now, after 20 years of observation, we feel that the time has come to pour out our experience and findings on paper. Having received permission, of course, from an authorized council of gnomes, which, by the way, took all of 5 years to make its decision. 5 years to make the decision? What? One of the chief sources, one of the chief sources of information has been Wilhelm J. Rich, bulky treatise, Dr. Honibus, for such names, Honibus, Parsimus, concerning the We Peoples, published in 1580. It contains a number of striking details, but alas, confuses gnomes with dwarves and dubious fairy tale characters so often that its overall reliably is negligible. That was a long word. Today, gnomes are nearly forgotten beings since they work by night in the woods and sometimes in human dwellings. It is not sheer coincidence that the word gnome itself is derived from Kuba Walda, which means home administrator or home spirit in the ancient Germanic language. German. It rural areas, these homes administrators often live in the rafters of barns, where if they are treated well, they will keep an eye on the livestock as well as crops. Another variant of their name translated as put to order or to do odd jobs with or without an apron. In earlier times, the gnome was an accepted member of society in Europe, Russia, and Siberia. Gnomes were seen regularly, and people in all stations of life were rewarded or punished, helped or hindered by them, depending on their own attitudes. The situation they came to find quite normal, but that was a time when waters were clear and forests virginal, when roads led peacefully from one settlement to another, when the heavens were filled only with birds and stars. Since that time, gnomes have been forced to retreat into hidden corners above and below the ground, where their existence is waning rapidly. Nevertheless, just as if you do not look carefully, you will fail to see a hare in a meadow or a deer in a forest. So it is with gnomes. You may not see them, but they are there all right. Now that we are so concerned with saving what is left of nature's treasures, there is some hope that gnomes will begin to move about more freely. More and more people are beginning to realize that they have a neglected but forgiving and wise mother in nature. These people undoubtedly will undoubtedly meet gnomes. We dedicate this book to them in hopes that they will gain much pleasure from their encounters. The gnomes were consulted for this book were extremely reserved when pressed for answers to some of our questions. As a result, there are certain deficiencies or imperfections in our work, valuable supplementary data from well-informed readers will therefore be most welcome. It will be included with sources mentioned in subsequent editions. Although the woodland gnomes in is treated and greatly detailed in volume, other types are are also dealt with gnomes, of course, are twilight and night creatures, and because we have had to conduct our investigation in near or total darkness. He had been completely true to our observations, and many illustrations in this book would have been painted in blue or dull gray. To overcome this difficulty, provided our accurate picture of a gnome life, the illustrations are colored as in the subjects had been observed in broad daylight. This is a signed copy, which I did not know it was a signed copy of the gnome book, which is pretty cool, but I cannot pronounce or read the name, but it is a signed copy. It's pretty awesome. It's been in my library. I did not know it. So, this is the historical background. Round about AD 1200, the Swede Frederick Urgraf found a well-preserved wooden statue in a fisherman's house in Nidaros, now Trondheim in Norway. The statue was 15 centimeters, just under 6 inches high, not including the pedestal. Engraved on the pedestal were the words Nisi Riktig Sturridge, which means no actual height. The statue had been in the fisherman's family as long as anyone can remember, and Urgraf succeeded in buying it only after days of negotiation. It was now part of the Olive family's collectors in Uppsala. X-ray had proved the statue to be more than 2,000 years old. It must have been carved from the roots of a tree that is no longer known. The wood is incredibly hard. The letters were carried many centuries later. The statue discovered dating illustrated what gnomes themselves have always said, that their origins were early Scandinavian. It was only after the Great People's Migration, beginning AD 395, that gnomes appeared in the lowlands, probably in 449, when the Romans' outpost of the Britannica fell to the Anglo-Saxons and Juteites. Some evidence of this comes from the statement of a peasant Roman sergeant, Publius Octavius, who owned a villa and farm in the woods outside of Longstone, now Leiden, in Holland. He had married a local woman and so did not return to Rome. It was pure luck that his property was spared destruction at the hands of the barbarians. Publius Octavius wrote the following description in AD 470. Today I saw a miniature person with my own eyes. He wore a red cap and a blue shirt. He had a white beard and a green pants. He said that he had lived in the land for 40 years. He spoke our language, mixed with a strange way, mixed with a strange words, since I have spoken with a little man many times. He said he was a descendant of a race called Kowalden, a word unknown to us, and that there was only a few of them in the world. He lived to drink milk time and time again. I saw him cure sick animals in the meadows in a chaotic times up until 500. The Odoacer king of the Germans had disposed of the last ruler of the Western Roman Empire. The gnomes must have established themselves in Europe, Russia, and Siberia, although exact information is lacking. Actually, gnomes find writing history uninteresting and at least pretend to, but is rumored that they have certain secret sounds. This book of 1580, Wunderlich mentions that in his time gnomes have maintained a classless society for more than 1,000 years, except for own chosen their own chosen king. There were no rich, poor, inferior, or superior gnomes. That is perhaps why they made use of the great people's migration to belong afresh. It all sounds plausible until he tells of a map now lost of a gnome's king's palace and adjacent gold miners. Apparently slave labor was used in the mines, and sometimes there were slave revolts. Using our scant information as a guide, we must conclude the gnomes gradually sought more contact with the people they lived among, and that they were completely integrated into our society 50 to 100 years before the reign of Chatelmangi. Sorry if I mispronounced that. 768 to 614. The adult male gnome weighs 300 grams. The adult female weighs 250 to 275 grams. That's interesting. Okay, look at, there's some maps of the gnomes. Let's turn it around. Here's the gnome, and he's showing all the spots where the gnomes have supposedly run them up. And look at all those spots in Europe. There's way more than in the Canadian land and the United States. The map above shows the number of sites in North America where gnomes are reported to exist. Oh, it looks like there's some in Michigan where I used to live. The difficulty with establishing to a certainty that gnomes do indeed live on a continent has been that no sighting and no encounter can be confirmed unless witnessed by two observers. The same criteria are used by bird watchers. Thus, through considerable evidence has accumulated, none of it's reported in this book. It can be surmised, however, that the American gnomes, whose geographic range corresponds to their fellows' climate, and that zones in Europe do adapt their same dress, lifestyles, and behavior patterns as their cousins across the sea. Western borders, Irish coast, Huron borders, wow, slip of the tongue. Eastern borders, deep in Siberia. Northern borders, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Russia, Siberia. Southern borders, in line of the Belgian coast via Switzerland, the Balkans, Upper Black Sea, Caucasus, Siberia. This has to do with the shorter days and longer winter nights occurring in the lands north of the line. Names of gnomes in various languages. It's how to pronounce. I'm not going to go through all of them, but there shows how to pronounce it. Woodland gnomes are 50 centimeters. This is what they look like. There's a male gnome and a female gnome. They're both different heights and sizes. Oh no, now we gotta read cursive in small print. The draw riddling rhyme from the opera Hansel and Gretel. Ein Mannlein steht im Lad ganz still und stumm. Es heißt von Water Purple in Manien Sage or Mag. Alas, mein ein Sein das Stitch and I'm bin. Oh, I just massacred German. A little man stands in the woods, still and alone. His smock is bright purple, and the purple thread is sewn. Pray tell Who is the little man who stands upon just one leg? Has nothing to do with gnomes. It concerns a toadstool, most likely the fly fungus. The confusion probably stems from the unproven folk belief that gnomes in times of danger can transform themselves into toadstools. It is said that this allows for more pentad. I can't even read now. It's in cursive. And it's tiny in cursive. It says physical appearance. They are male and female gnomes. In our daily lives, we come in contact only with the males because the females about always stays at home. The male wears a peaked red cap. He had a full beard which comes gray long before his and her does. He wears a loose smock with a brown color on captain neck, usually covered up by his beard. Next, the brown-green pants and felt boots, shoes of birch bark or wooden clogs, depending on the area in which he lives. Makes sense. Facial coloring is for but with red apple cheeks, especially in old age. The more neck is straight or unleaded, torn up. The eyes are generally gray. The fore are but to cross herding with trolls and shrewd of times. The eyes are surrounded by many wrinkles, mainly laugh wrinkles, which doesn't after the fact that they can all of a sudden look permanently serious. Gnomes do not so much use the material presence of those before them. Rather, they probe the real self and view the landscapes therein to it such an extent that no secrets remain. Greetings and farewells are expressed by rubbing noses. That's how gnomes say hello. It is said that this allows for a more pretending glance into the eyes. Hardly likely is probably nothing more than just a friendly gesture, and annoying gnomes have no secrets from one another. In fact, they have only to glance at someone in the distance, and right away they know what is happening in that person's inner self. This is a cool picture too. This has a house in it. It's very beautiful illustrations in this book. The gnomes conspicuous dress serve to protect him from birds of prey during the twilight and night hours. They are his friends, but could make a fast moving gnome for a large move where it is not for his red cap, which only goes to above that birds can see colors of that blue jays out even today. Some of these words are hard to read because they're all in cursive. On the other hand, the bright clothing could be a dead advantage when the gnome meets with more annoying creatures of life, such as cats and snakes, polecats, and varmints, I think it says. Still, the gnome doesn't fret too much about these bothersome creatures, as he far surpasses them in intelligence. Let's see what they say about this is the other picture. The next page is very cool. Next 2 pages of the gnome book. The gnome moves at such tearing speed when he wants to, even on long journeys, that he could easily outdistance most predatory creatures, with the exception perhaps of the hornet. The hornet, however, sings only during daylight hours. A gnome is usually indoors when the gnome has a daytime mission to carry out. The first rubs himself all over the juice of the nux vomica or vomit nut plant. A small quantity of this non-excess material caused by tendency to vomit, and all who inhale it save the gnome himself and thereby discourage the stinging eager hornet. footprints. The footprints left behind by a gnome are very distinctive. If you can find them, in order not to leave a trail as he walks along, the gnome makes clever use of pebbles and pieces of moss and pine needles by sweeping on them rather than on the bare ground. He leaves no trick. Sometimes he walks in a circle or back upon his own trail or proceeds through the trees. If he knows for that he is being followed, he will always disappear into the underground passage. There's an underground passage somewhere in there. When forced to tread on bare ground, the gnome makes use of the bird's footprints printed in relief on the soles of his boots. With this cunning aid, he discusses his travels, but gnomes sometimes give themselves away by betraying the following small vanity. If you come across a birch leaf on the ground with a clear blob of slime in its middle, you can be sure that the gnome has just passed by and exercised his skill in target spitting. He can resist proving he can't resist proving his aim and thus leaves a trail. The clothing mentioned is worn summer and winter without an overcoat, for the male gnome adjusts well to all kinds of weather. At the most, he may wear the extra vest and or long johns during the winter cold, extreme cold. Okay. Well, I don't know if my sons have read this book, but yeah, that's a gnome female that's not dressed. Seriously? Goal of the 96-year still shy. Wears gray and khaki clothing until she is moved. She wears a green cap with her broad sticking out. Her braids sticking out. Well, I think there's something sticking out than just her. Yeah. After marriage, her hair disappears under a sheath and darkened cap. Although the female gnome has a sub something deterred gravity at her height allows her to go through life uncombustible by abrasive blouse skirt to ankle, black and gray knee socks, and high shoes or slippers. Just depends on where she lives and what the climate is. And I would hope she would put a top on her chest by Mayana. Mainly because the gray color of her clothing, the female gnome feels safer indoors, mistaking females for small forest animals. Owls could very easily cause deep wounds with their talons before realizing that they had attacked a friend. An average of the clothing is that humans can difficulty spotting female gnomes because their dress blends in with the background as well. When the female gnome is picked up and often disarms her captor by playing possum until she is released. And she still has dress on. Not look at that anymore. We're reading a book about gnomes, and on the other page, which I'm not going to show, is a female gnome, and she has her basically underclothes on with no top and protruding, female parts, and rosy red cheeks with green cap on. I'm not showing it because it's so obviously inappropriate. So, now the cap. It seems to be important because cap has its own page. The cap deserves an extra explanation. It is made of felt and is so solid from its tip to the top of the head. The gnome never removes it except in darkness before going to bed, and probably, although we have not seen this for ourselves when taking a bath. A gnome without a cap is not a gnome, and he knows it. Some folklorists insist that the cap has the power to generate a gnome invisible, but if this is so, it is not principal function. Rather, it is an indispensable head covering. Protect against such unsuspected blows from above as are dealt by falling twigs, acorns, or hailstones, and against attack by animals of prey. Interestingly, just as a lizard will surrender its tail in order to escape, so a gnome will give up his cap to a marauding cat. A gnome reveals his individuality as such with his cap as with the shape of the nose. The gnome child receives a cap of a very tender age and keeps it throughout his life because it is seldom removed. Wear and tear on this cap is considerable, and with great care new layers of felt are periodically added to the outside. This work is done every few years, and the help of a form modeled and molded in the exact shape of the gnome's head. Gnome working at the cap form, a job that he hates. It is the tedious work, but he would rather be without his pants than without his cap. Note that he covers his forehead with a cloth while uncapped. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. Physiology is skeleton, muscular skeleton, circulatory system, brave nervous center, digestive system, kidney and bladder system, respiratory system, connective tissue, skin and hair, blood, senses, hormonal system, sexual organs. The brain span is relatively larger that of humans. For 8 pairs of ribs, 4 floating ribs, humans 7 and 5. Arms longer, legs shorter, foot, bones, and arches extra powerful. Apparently they can run fast because their feet are extra powerful. Nature seems to find it necessary to produce 2 sizes in many of her creations: horse, pony, stag, bird, and mouse have hare, rabbit, and goose, dog, and so we have humans and gnomes. However, the difference in size is extreme, that the similarity is all more striking. Following is a description of the slight differences in the physical between man and gnome. I would argue to say that God is the one that developed these and not Mother Nature, which says Mother Nature created the gnomes. I don't know. Do they really exist? According to this book, it says that gnomes exist. So, anyhow, sorry if I lost your interest. Sorry if I lost people's interest with this gnome book. I found it kind of interesting. Tomorrow we'll have sports for sure. Because going from a large to small, the volume, from large to small, the volume, and therefore the weight of an object decreases as the cube of its linear dimension and surface are area only as the square. Even a fast gnome moves more easily than a man. Compared to a flea to an elephant, gnomes can therefore run much faster and jump higher and even are 7 times stronger than man. Relatively speaking, gnomes' legs my oxygen must getting low in my body. Gnome leg muscles have an extra muscle bundle. Further, the gnome has 2 types of muscles, red and white. The white are the for short distance performance. They permit the accumulation of extra carbon dioxide, which is later discharged through panting breath. The red muscles are reasonable for enjoying work. So that was page, they're not page numbers. It's starting to get late, and this is chapter 2 that's coming up. Some cool pictures and features, facial features and things. 7 times strong as a man, a gnome is. Here is the picture of that page. As you can see, he's lifting up a tree stump. But I cannot read anymore because I'm obviously getting low on oxygen, but my lips don't seem to be turning blue right now. But I know I'm extra tired today and things didn't go as well as planned. So I will finish reading or read a few more pages tomorrow at some point of this gnome book. So thank you for watching on the replay, and thank you for subscribing and sharing. It's all free. You can like it, you can hit the bell and get all my notifications. Sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's real life, sometimes it's reading a book, sometimes it's doing homeschool. You just whatever it might be. So please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share, please. I am trying to grow my channel. When I get to 500 subscribers, I will be doing a gift drawing of whoever's in the party room with me at the time. And I will do it like an automatic spin wheel thing. I don't know. So have a great night. I'm logging off here because it is now 8:35 here in Washington State. So I'm pretty tired. I think most people on the East Coast are probably in bed or on Joe's channel if he's still on. Please check out NY Yankee Mania. Please check out Nathan Sports Rush and MR Media on. Oh, MR Media is on. Why can I